Hi, welcome to Reddit Tea Time. I, 31 male, was adopted at birth. Around when I was in high school, they had a son of their own and I was basically ignored. It got so bad that I never went back home during college, and instead in my junior year, my aunt, I guess, my adoptive dad's second cousin, and her husband invited me to stay with them for the summer, and I've basically lived with them since. Aunt's husband has a daughter from a previous marriage, Kay, 22 female. Basically, Kay and I aren't related at all. Due to the custody agreement for Kay and I never really hung out. That changed the past couple of years when we moved states to be near Kay's college. We started hanging out a lot more, and honestly, I fell for her. She's grown into a gorgeous woman. She's super smart and funny. Kay graduated this year and is spending the summer here with us, and for the past 2 weeks, it was just us at home. Parents went abroad. We had a blast, and I thought she was falling for me and flirting back at me. I told her I was attracted to her, but she said she wasn't ready for anything like that. And I told her I understood, and she left, and I figured that was that. Well, I guess I was wrong, because when I sent her a meme, she responded with a long paragraph about how things would never be the same between us, and how dare I think it would be, and I made her uncomfortable, and she didn't want to see me or talk to me. To be honest, the second I read that, I immediately lost all attraction to her. I thought she was a mature adult, but obviously not. The next day, she told me we need to talk, and I tried to forestall her, but she launched into this whole speech about how she regrets treating me nicely, how I violated her trust because she treated me like a brother, called me selfish. Apparently, if I'd considered her feelings, I'd know she'd never want this. At this point, I had to interrupt her and explained I was no longer interested, first of all, so this issue is over and done, and she's blowing things out of proportion. That I don't regret treating her nicely, and I will continue to. That I can accept that she isn't interested, but I didn't violate her trust because I was being honest to my feelings, and trust is about honesty. And how am I supposed to consider her feelings when I clearly can't read her? I thought I had a 50-50 shot. At this point, she blew up and started yelling over me. To be honest, I was shocked. I told her I don't know where this anger was coming from. I thought she was a nice person, and she's clearly just looking for an excuse to hold on to her anger against me. I didn't do anything wrong. If I had to redo my confession, I'd do it again. She's gorgeous and funny, and any guy would fall for her. I did apologize that she felt uncomfortable. She yelled at me to shut the F up and left, and childishly slammed the door. That was 2 days ago, and she's left the house. I think she was overreacting, but her mom called today to scream at me, and I'm not sure now. At this point, I'm also worried because Kay told me she told her dad and stepmom, my distant aunt and husband who I've been living with, and she's adamant that she never wants to live in the same house as me again. I'm afraid she's trying to poison my relationship with my loved ones because she doesn't get that I'm over her and this isn't an issue anymore. She made her no clear, and I of course respect that and have no interest in making her uncomfortable in the future. How do I smooth things over before she turns everyone against me? Now for some comments. Geez, man, listen, I understand you're not bio-related and that you admit you haven't been close until more recently, but that is still someone within your family. You've now saddled her with information that has her picking apart all her interactions with you and whether or not she was ever in your genuine company or if you were trying to use her comfort as a manipulation tactic. You no longer being attracted to her is so minimal here. It's about her safe space at her father's home no longer feeling like that and having to unpack all of her situations with you. Bro, you're a 31-year-old man who has made a pass at a 22-year-old who is a family member even though she's not bio-related. What the hell is wrong with you? How old was she when you two first met? I don't get how you could know her as a child, and then even though she's grown into a woman, suddenly be attracted to her. She's family. If I were you, I wouldn't expect the parents to forgive you for that. I sure wouldn't if I were them. You've most likely come across to all of them as a predator. You don't convince her. You messed up. Let's get some dates right here. You moved in with them in college in your junior year, so you were likely 20, 21. If that's true, you met this human child when they were 12, 13. This person saw you as an adult, maybe as family, and definitely as someone much older than them, and despite what you think about how you fell for them, you're not listening to them or looking at their perspective at all. You're entitled to nothing, not even a friendship, but this family gave it to you, and now you've given some pretty bad impressions of all her interactions with you over that decade. She may have felt safe with someone she began to consider family, and now it may feel like you've had motives the entire time. She left the house because you made her feel unsafe in her own home. Her feelings, not looks, should matter more to you than yours. That's what it's like to fall for someone. Yet here you stand indignant and proud about how her being honest and standing up for herself isn't mature. Maybe be a little more honest with yourself. Apologize and realize that not all mistakes can be fixed because you really want them to be. Last week, my girlfriend and I got into a fight over something stupid, and it escalated into an argument over what has been a sore spot for her, the fact that I haven't proposed. She told me it made her feel unwanted, but I assured her that I do want to marry her. She ended things with me today. She said she didn't want to waste more time. I told her we could go get married tomorrow if that's what she wants, and that I still want to propose but wanted to wait for the right time. She said the right time was sometime between 4 and 6 years ago, and then she left. What can I do? I do love her and want to be with her. How can I show her how much she means to me? Now for some comments. If you would marry her today, then why hasn't it happened? What's been the holdup for 9 years? Too late. If the time wasn't right for 9 years, then that's on you. Dude, for real? She's been waiting for you for 9 years and now you're like, I'd marry her tomorrow. Okay, then why didn't you? Let her be free to be with someone who will actually commit to and appreciate her. It seems like all of your decision making is about your feelings. You're not ready to marry her and she deserves better. Be kind and let her go. I told her we could get married tomorrow if that's what she wants. What she wants is you to marry her of your own volition, not because you feel like you have no choice. Making her feel like she's rushing you to give her a quickie proposal and wedding is beyond hurtful when she's been more than patient. I met my girlfriend 6 months ago while I was visiting my family in my home city. I live in Austin, she lives in Orlando. When we first met, she said she was looking at Austin as a place to move to in the future. I invited her to come visit. She did, and she ended up not liking it, so she now wants to stay in Orlando. I work remotely and my lease was coming to an end. She told me, why not come back to Orlando and we can live together? At first, I didn't want to, but she made it seem like she couldn't do the long distance because she misses me so much and she wanted to be with me. I said yes and moved in with her. Now, this is where the issue comes in. Her lease on the house is ending next month. She claims that she wasn't going to renew it, she was going to buy a house, but she doesn't want to buy it without me involved. She even insinuated that I should buy it with her now. Her mom, who I met only thrice, allegedly supported the idea. When I told her no, she made it seem like I was preventing her from buying her house. Then I told her I don't want to prevent her from buying her house. She should buy it alone, especially since I don't know if I want to settle in Orlando long term. Now she wants to wait, but she wants me to promise that if she renews the lease, that we'll get a house by this time next year. I really can't promise her that, especially at such a young stage in the relationship. Financially, I make more than double what she makes. She makes about $48K per year. I make $122K per year. On top of that, she wants to get married and have kids within that same year. I don't know what's the rush, but she's making me anxious about all that pressure. How can I slow things down? Now for some comments. Don't buy a house together. You've only known her 6 effing months. She found a young man with money. You're doing better than most people twice your age. She wants to lock it in. How can you slow things down? By saying no and not allowing manipulative people like this into your life. This is not complicated at all. She's a virtual stranger trying to con you. Don't be an idiot. She's lied and manipulated you from the beginning. She never considered moving to Austin. She just said that and visited so she could act like she really tried. She never intended to buy a house on her own. She's just saying that to make you feel like you'd be holding her back if you don't buy one with her. Proof of that is that when you encouraged her to buy on her own for herself, she instead decided to wait a year, but wants a promise that you buy with her, aka fund most of it for her at that time. If you stay with her, she'll end up accidentally pregnant, which she'll use to push you into things you aren't ready for. The smart thing to do would be to get the hell away from her and find someone sane and reasonable to date. How can I slow things down? Run far, far away. This has more red flags than a CCP parade. You're walking into a buzzsaw with her.
What do you think? Please let me know in the comments below. If you liked this story and you've made it this far, please consider subscribing. I really appreciate you spending your valuable time with me. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next Reddit story. In the meantime, please take care of yourself. Bye for now.